Growth, as we define this, is the sort of current economic consensus, i.e. GDP is clearly unsustainable and is causing some real problems.
Values are already very much decoupled from growth and progress. If you take the very, very narrow definition of growth and progress as being only to do with the economy, you really need to couple values with the decisions that you're making.
GDP is an avatar. It represents what is presumed to be good: economic production, employment, and ability to purchase the necessary products and services for the good life. We have an indicator that is no longer relevant. Value isn't found in the world. It's not just an object out there. It's what we create in the process of making choices about what to give our lives to.
We tried to define what an economy of happiness is, and it seemed to come down to one thing: a balance of care and compassion with economic interests.
Live in an atomized consumer society, and we need a cultural shift to cooperation based on empathy and solidarity. Art is a really resonant way to communicate a lot of these ideas, a lot of ideas that get to the fundamental assumptions of how people think, and changing the way people think.
Moving to a post-growth economy or degrowth economy or whatever it ends up being is going to mean a lot of transition. We saw a need for supports.
The task for all of us is to demonstrate moral courage and to try to begin these conversations and not just conversations but our actions to accomplish the kind of ends around expanding ideas, for example, of wealth.
There doesn't seem to be a way out of some much stronger and focused international institution. The normal reaction is, well, it's frightening, and we'll lose our autonomy and everything, but if we have 15, 20 feet of sea level rise, we'll lose our autonomy that way too.
We redefine terms. Wealth might mean in the old way of thinking this, but what we really need to do is we need to be expanding through language a whole range of meaning. The major educator of our times, the major informer of our actions really is, in terms of dollars, it's advertising. Ads may not take us where we want to be, but clearly they take the people who pay for them where they want to be.
The focus should be to implement policies known to correct the most destructive incidences of market failure, to make well-being indices the measure of progress instead of GDP, and to build and support through policy alternative economic institutions.
We need to change the questions that we ask, move to more system-focused rather than linear questions. So rather than saying, how do we grow more rice, We want to ask the question, how do we feed 9 billion people in a healthy way?
First, you change behavior, and of course, then, as an individual, you start to see yourself differently. Then you adjust your attitudes and start accepting some new information. And this then becomes more in line with the initial behavior change. And that allows you to change your outlook.
In the future, one way or another, if it's conscious or if it's by necessity, there'll be less emphasis on individuals pursuing material wealth. There would be more of a focus on balance. So I'd just like to say we agreed that 20 more minutes we would have solved all the world's problems, but didn't quite get there.